Cammy.
Hey, I'm driving, so sorry I can't look at you guys.
Bada bing, bada boom. Welcome back to our channel, guys. I appreciate every single one of you, and I hope you guys enjoyed our little journey today. We had a little change of plans, but we went to another place to get some food to take home for our mom to eat for a couple days, actually. It's called Dominique's Pizza. We just went out and got it, so we're just traveling now to go get our little sister something. And we're going to go from there. So what do you want to talk about, Cammy?
I think you should try to do a singing competition. Who knows more words without music in the background.
You started off, Cammy.
So, Devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal. He was in a bind. He was waiting behind, and he was willing to make a deal. He came across this young man sawing on a fiddle and playing it hot. The devil jumped up on the hickory stump and said, "Boy, let me tell you what. I guess you didn't know it, but I'm a fiddle player too. And if you care to take a dare, I'll make a bet with you. Now, you play pretty good fiddle, boy, but give the devil his due. A bet of fiddle of gold against your soul that I'm better than you." The boy said, "My name is Johnny, and it might be a sin, but I'll take your bet you're going to regret, because I'm the best there's ever been."
I'm sorry, she beat me. I lost track when she kept going and going and going. But I do got one song I know we used to sing at group a lot, and I know we sang with my mom, and she actually sang it. It was called A Farmer, and it's actually called Three Wooden Crosses by Randy Travis. And it goes something like this. 3 wooden crosses on the right side of the highway.
Oh, am I singing with you?
We're going to go back and forth.
Okay, sorry. 3 wooden crosses on the right side of the highway. Why, there's not 4 of them. Heaven only knows.
I guess it's not what you take when you leave this world behind you. It's what you leave behind you when you go.
The farmer left a harvest and home and 80 acres.
The faith and love and growing things in his young son's heart.
That teacher left her wisdom in the minds of lots of children.
She did her best to give them all a better start.
I think we skipped a verse.
The preacher whispered, "Can't you see the promised land?" She failed horribly.
It's because I'm driving and cars keep running right in front of me.
All right, let's talk about some stories, Cammy, because obviously you can't sing. Okay, go ahead.
Again, younger brother for sale, free of charge to a good home.
So we'll talk about some stories for you. I'll talk about an athletic story, and then we'll go back and forth to tell you a little bit about us. So I don't know if you read about one little story about our careers and stuff, but one of the stories I know I talked about that I love talking about is my wrestling journey. So I will tell you, back in my day, a lot of people, my cards were stacked against me a lot. I'll just put it that way. But I had a lot of faith in God and a lot of faith in my family and faith in my mom and dad that they knew I can do it. Well, what happened my senior year was something that nobody wants anybody to go through. My mom was diagnosed with breast cancer, and pretty much she was at one point the lowest of the low that you can be to go through that journey. And what happened, do you want to hear a joke? Go ahead. Well, I'll tell you back to my story, though. I was going through a hard time with her because she actually wanted to give up. Like, she actually was at the lowest of the low. Okay, I'll answer that question once. Okay, she wants me to ask me for a raise.
Can I have a raise?
Okay, there you go. But back to my story real quick. So what happened was my mom wanted to give up, and I didn't know what to do to help her. So what I decided was I made a promise to her. I said, "Mom, if I take you to the state tournament, would you promise you beat cancer?"
And she said, "Yes."
Hold on a second. Okay, well, back to it, and she said yes. She actually would literally say yes, and I actually went to the state tournament, and I remember pointing up to him after I placed in the state tournament. I said, "It's your turn," and my mom's actually been cancer-free ever since. So that's one of my favorite sports stories, and I actually went on to wrestle in college. I wrestled for a Division II industry, and I actually didn't do too bad, but after my body decided to not do it anymore, I decided to be a USA powerlifter. I did that for about 2.5 years, went against some stiff competition, and actually one of the competitions I was at, One of the competitions I was at, I actually won a dagger that I got from a competition, and that was actually when I used to do 400-pound bench press, about an 800-pound squat, and I actually almost did. I think a grand total. I was up to like 1,600 pounds total, almost qualified to the national meet, but and then at the end of my career, I just couldn't do it anymore. So, do I like pizza? Yes, I do like pizza. Thanks for asking. And that's a little sports story about me. So I'm going to throw you over to my older sister to tell about her favorite sports story.
So, again, I can't look at you guys because I'm driving in traffic, so I do apologize. But kind of like he said, he had a sad story his senior year. I did too. My basketball team had the worst record in history. And in the middle of my season, my cousin was killed in a tragic accident. And it was by a girls' basketball team locally. And the game that I had to return to play after everything happened was against this team. I was the only senior on the team. I was her classmates, because she was just a year under me, stood on both sides and basically made sure I didn't fall because I was a wreck. And that game, I don't think I sat more than 2 seconds because I know they didn't want my mind occupied on how tragic it was. And I never will forget my coach asked, do you care if we honor my cousin at the beginning of the game? And I go, please don't, maybe do that towards the end. It's because I wanted to be in the game at the moment. And they honored my wishes. I mean, I'll never forget that whole team coming to the funeral, and they all knew who I was. Stopped by me, said they were sorry and so on.
So to tell you guys the story, just in case you just came in, it was a story of my sister's senior year when she lost a cousin to a tragic incident, and she still had to go back in to play the next game, which was very next day.
Against the school bus and team that actually hit her. But I've been staying up to date with, at that time, I'm going to keep my mind in the game. I had a horrible record that year, and I don't say it's all because of what happened, but I was distracted. But some of my best memories actually come from my other sport, softball. There was one practice when we went to nationals in Roanoke, Virginia. We had to dress, not softball-like, but, a little different, which I was such a shy girl back then that I'm like, I don't want to. But I did it. I'm a team player. But my team would encourage me. I remember one time where I had an issue with one of my coaches, and I sat the bench, and they pulled me into the game finally, and we do a meeting at the pitcher's mound, and I'll never forget, and I always will remember who it was, but one of my players or my teammates goes, "Here's our team now playing," right in front of the coach, and it just felt like an honor to be a part of a team that, at least the team had my back. Especially when that coach said things against that cousin I said it in basketball. So I also haven't had the easiest of lives, and I'm sure there's people out there with much worse stories than I. But basically, since I was a freshman in high school, I lost a friend, a teammate, under the age of 18 every year through my graduation. Every year. But we persevered. We were a small-knit community. We did what we could for each other. And in sporting events, my classmates that were on my teams were the greatest. Even though I was the only one graduating, the ones that I played with when I was younger came to my senior night. So I had some nice memories of people that had my back.
Just hold on 1 second, guys. We're going through a little traffic thing. All right. Okay. Just bear with us, guys. There's a little traffic going on. Okay. All right, we're back, guys. Sorry about that. So, do you guys have any questions for us before we leave you? Because we're going to probably stop for the time for right now. All right, well, we're going to see you guys again.